When I was growing up, my dad and I lived with my grandparents. My parents had me while they were teenagers, and my dad got full custody because he lived with my grandparents and my mum was just living with random friends, going from house to house every few weeks. I was the daughter that my grandparents never had, and they doted on me. When I was 6, my grandpa passed away from cancer. This story takes place about 5 months after he passed away. This was, I believe, a Saturday, and my dad was at work. My gram decided to take me to McDonald's for lunch, and like any 6-year-old, I was really excited. So we go to the McDonald's that was about 1.5 miles from our house, order our lunch, and sit down at the table to eat. At the time, we were the only ones eating inside. About 10 minutes later, after we sit down, a scraggly looking man walks in, orders a meal, and sits down at the table diagonally in front of us to the left. The area we lived in was middle and upper class, so this guy looked pretty out of place. Graham had her back to him, but I could see him perfectly. This man was at least in his mid-50s, with really wiry, scraggy and dirty white hair and a beard. He had on blue shorts and a white t-shirt, also kinda dirty, and sandals. It's amazing. This happened 21 years ago, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. So I noticed that under the table, this man had something dark, pink, and wrinkly on his lap. And he kept glancing at me and rubbing it every few seconds. In kindergarten, we learned about stranger danger and good touch, bad touch, and learned which parts of the body people were supposed to touch. It clicked in my 6-year-old head that this man was not supposed to have been acting out like that, nor doing what he was doing. I got really queasy and nervous. I didn't want to tell my gram right there and then, because I thought the man would hurt us. If my dad was there, I would have said something. But instead, I put my Happy Meal box in front of my face so my view of this guy could be blocked. I had about half of my food left, but had lost my appetite. Gram asked me if I was full, and I just nodded yes. I was very petite, so not finishing a full meal was nothing new for me. She asked me if I wanted to go play in the play area before we left, but I just shook my head and quietly said, "I want to go home." Gram cleared our table and we left. When we got home, I was still really nervous, and I felt like I was going to throw up. Gram asked me, "What's the matter, Munchkin?" And I started crying and told her about the man at the McDonald's and what I saw. My gram didn't panic or freak or get hysterical. She just hugged me and said, "It's alright, go into your room and play and I'll take care of it." She wiped my tears, gave me a blueberry Kool-Aid burst, and told our dog, Patches, to go to my room with me, which she did. After I was out of earshot, Graham called the McDonald's and told them about the guy. He was still there. The manager told Graham he'd take care of it and call her back. An hour later, the manager calls back and tells Graham they called the police, who showed up in record time and arrested the guy. When the police told the man to stand up, his frankenbeans were still hanging out of his shorts. The manager told Graham that she could bring me back for a month's worth of coupons for Happy Meals if she wished.